You're listening to the Practical Tax Podcast with tax attorney Steve Moskovitz.
I want to talk to you about something you and I talk a lot about, which is the side hustle, right? More people than ever have second jobs, or in some cases, third jobs. And I want to ask you about the tax opportunities for the self-employed, for people who have a W-2, but also have these side hustles. But I thought, what a great person to bring in this discussion is a guy who's done it all. He's the creator and host of The Contributors and a vice president of business development at Excess Logic, which I love what these guys do at Excess Logic. They're a nationwide decommissioning company. They remove unwanted equipment and excess inventory, and they recover up to 80 cents on a dollar of it. It's great. But even more, I really enjoyed Victor's videos, and he joins us here on the Practical Tax. Victor, give me your last name, because I went online. I found 50 different ways to pronounce your last name. Please.
Gichun. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Maybe all that's done while listening to a beautiful musical score. I was looking at piano in the background. Looks really nice.
Thank you. This is the virtual background.
I know it's a virtual background. That's all right, because we're not really here in person either. Steve and I don't exist. We were just made up by some AI. Victor, you seem like one of those guys who has never met a mountain you didn't want to climb. I do want to talk to you about side hustles and the possibility of a recession. And Steve and I talk about that all the time. But let's just jump right in and say, what's right and wrong with the ways we're teaching business to people today, young people especially?
One of the biggest problems, what I notice, not only in the United States and in other countries, I born in Ukraine and lived in Russia as well. So the people actually don't get financial education. So this is the biggest problem. So they don't know that they need to do with money. They get salary, they get a job, they get salary, and then they just spend this money. And they look at rich people and think, why they getting richer and why am I getting poorer? And this is problem. I heard in Florida, they are right now trying to do it mandatory. Every college will have special course, financial education, so people will get educated. And I think this is a big step towards the prosperity of the whole nation. If everyone in this country will know that they need to first to get rich. I just recorded today the very simple short. I record every morning, just like advices how to get rich, how to become successful in life. From my personal experience, you need to get stable income. You need to invest a minimum 10% of all the money you make. And then you need to get better and better every day in what you do to make stable income. If people Vic, get this simple concept, they will be. I
couldn't agree with you more.
You have a video I really like, Victor, about climbing a mountain. And then you get to a point you can't go any further, and you have to admit you made a mistake, and you got to go back and start again. That happens to people with their taxes. And Steve talks about it a lot. People make mistakes. And instead of just stopping and saying, okay, I want to get this all straight so I can move forward without this burden, you have to admit you made a mistake, and that's okay. Victor, obviously, this excess, which is a really great idea for a company. How many different ideas do you have in an individual day? And do you write them all down? And how does your brain work?
The brain works like everyone's brain constantly. And this is not the problem how the brain works. The problem how to stop it working so you can get something which you can focus on and really do something with that. Speaking of taxes and financial education, there is another problem here is on a corporate level. There are a lot of companies we deal with in the United States, excuse me, they unfortunately, they don't understand the potential of financial benefits they can actually get from the assets they already have, because the United States tax law tax every asset you have. If you bought a piece of equipment and you don't use it, you still pay taxes. Right, and this is what we're trying to educate the companies in the United States, that instead of keeping it on the shelf, because engineers, usually they kind of hoarders, they keep equipment even they don't need it. it's very hard to get from them. They're like kids with their toys, you know. They look at this and feel comfortable. So, but the company pay 1% every year on every piece of equipment they know.
But on the other hand, if you can get them to do what you're saying, you can then get a tax deduction for what you're writing off in junking.
Exactly. This is what we're trying to. So this is the second part of financial illiteracy on the corporate level, which I think can be fixed in somehow. I don't know how now. If the companies will understand, once you don't need equipment, you better give it to some company like Access Logic. They will sell it on the secondary market. And you will be able to write off the difference between money you paid and money you get it out. And then you will stop paying taxes. And the final benefits of this process, that the small businesses, which you just talked in the previous discussion, will benefit greatly, because the small companies, startup in the United States, they can't afford the new equipment, but they can afford to use the equipment which Access Logic take from those big companies which no longer use. And they can buy affordable equipment, do some research, do some tests, get at some level when they can raise money, and then buy new equipment.
At the end of this, I'm going to put up your YouTube channel so people can find it. They should watch your videos. They're great. I really did enjoy them. Yeah. Victor, last thing. And it's a video I kind of stumbled across, and I sent it to my son about alcohol. I love this. Talking about why we should be careful about alcohol. And it's not that you're telling people they should never drink alcohol, but it was a really interesting point about, how it can get in the way of our success and even our self-realization. What was it you said on that?
Yeah, what I said is because it's, again, from my experience. I quit drinking like 4 years ago, and I got so much energy and time for something productive. It's not that I was like a drunken. It's not that I was like really sick. I never attended any AA organization, nothing like that. I just practically look at my life, and I figured when Friday approaching the week, my mind right now, okay, what bar we going to with my friends to drink? When I go in somewhere on vacation, I think, okay, what sort of tequila I'm gonna drink, or what kind of, and then I just cut myself like what I'm thinking about. Life, it's not about drink. Life, it's about achievement. So you need, in order to change the focus and get the time and the health to do something, you need to just avoid it at like any cost. You wouldn't lose anything. This is hard maybe the first months. And after that, it's so much fun to be in a company when everybody drinking and you are sober. You like in circus, like free show for you. You see everything. You see how people change.
Yeah.
This is so much funnier than to be actually tipsy around these people. And you come home, you don't have hangover, you have time, your brain work clear, 100% capacity, and you can have so much success just quitting one bad habit, drinking.
Well, I tell people all the time, you think of the greatest times in your life, you weren't drunk or high, whether it was your wedding or your child being born or whatever, or, just even good friends. Whether in the military, from everything from the military to, the office place. I just think it was a really interesting message with all of your other positive message of achievement. I'd love the three of us to have dinner sometime. I would love to hear you guys just go on and on and on, because there's so much there.
You know what? I love having dinner, Chet.
Victor, you get to San Francisco, you let us know. Okay, my friend?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody.